always very protective of him. I wanted to protect Sam and to look out for him. Yet, even though he was 1 year younger than I found that this was precisely what he wanted to do for me.
There are still tears from the family of Sam DuBose nearly 2 years after his death during a traffic stop and days after a second mistrial. Good evening, everybody. I'm Rob Braun.
And I'm Cami Dierking. The family of Sam DuBose announces a strategy to get justice.
They spoke out this afternoon, days after a second jury could not reach a verdict in the trial of former UC officer Ray Tenzing. Local 12's Deborah Dixon talked with family members this afternoon. She joins us live with their message for the community. Deb?
Yeah, hi, Rob. Ray Tenzing's family has never talked after either trial. Sam DuBose family does talk. And today they're not only talking about wanting a third trial for murder, they're also going to the Justice Department to get Ray Tenzing, hoping Ray Tenzing can be charged with violating Sam's civil rights.
I want Tenzing to be convicted. I want Tenzing convicted at both levels. It's not an either or for me. I want Tenzing convicted in the state of Ohio for killing my brother, and then I want him convicted by the federal government for violating his civil rights. It's not either or, it's both. I want Tenzing to go to jail for the rest of his life.
The DuBose family praised the prosecutor, but went off on Judge Leslie Ghiz, calling her one of Tenzing's attorneys because of some of her rulings, including not allowing that T-shirt in as evidence, the one with the Confederate flag on it, the one Tenzing was wearing under his uniform when he killed Sam DuBose.
If Sam had killed Tenzing and he had on some Black Panther shirt or I hate white people, that shirt would have been in evidence. That jury would have seen it every day, all day.
And as they usually do, the DuBose family wanted to talk about Sam the jury never got to know.
Sam was a man with a big heart. He was loved. He was trusting. He was fun. He was funny. He was ours. And he was my little brother.
Rob, Prosecutor Joe Deters will decide about that third trial. He said he'll decide the week of July 9th. It's a big decision because most of the jurors decided against murder and most of them decided against the lesser charge of voluntary manslaughter. It's not like you have one holdout that makes a prosecutor say, yeah, let's try again. So I don't know what's going to happen. I know there are a lot of deep feelings on both sides, Rob.
Deb, I think there's been a case in South Carolina where an officer has pleaded guilty to civil rights charges. Am I right about that?
That's right. He pleaded guilty to civil rights violations after he was there was a hung jury on murder, and in exchange for that guilty plea, the state said, we won't try you again. So it is very similar. It was a traffic stop. Maybe you remember the video. He was running. Walter Scott was running, and the officer shot him in the back. It was a stop for no brake lights. So it's, you can look at it and say, yeah, this is what the family mentioned today, that Walter Scott case, Rob.
All right, Deb, thanks very much. Prosecutor Joe Deters says he will announce a decision on whether or not Ray Tenzing will face a third trial after July 10th. He faces a deadline by the court of July 24th. Again, we have reached out to Ray Tenzing and his family. It's important to note they are not commenting right now on the advice of their attorney.